The year is 2025, and Civilization 4 is still one of the greatest games of all time. We're about to learn how to play, and we're going to learn quickly. I'd strongly recommend the complete game with all the expansions, Civ 4 Beyond the Sword. There are no crazy gimmicks with the civs. You have a special building, a special unit, and 2 traits. Of these traits, financial is generally understood to be very strong, protective is quite weak. Use the Civilopedia, find bonuses that you like. You'll need to pick a map type. I'm not Soren Johnson, I'm not your dad. Pick whatever map you want. Actually, hold up, no, pick a Pangea so that I don't have to talk about boats in this video. Civ 4 borrows a lot from earlier Civ games in terms of buildings, government, and tile management, but things are more streamlined, and the more annoying systems like the despotism penalty, 8-turn anarchies, and corruption don't exist here. Cities have population, you can see that number right here. Each point of population corresponds with a citizen in the city gathering yields from a tile. One of those yields is food. Each citizen needs to eat 2 food every turn. Another yield is hammers. Hammers make you build things. The final yield is gold. Gold is applied to science or the treasury through these sliders at the top of the screen. The game is very easy to pick up and play. You instantly know what to do when you start. You should be able to play with intentionality immediately when you're choosing techs at the start of the game. Look around your starting spot. What bonus resources do you see? Figure out what worker jobs you need to improve your capital city, particularly high food tiles, and then prioritize those techs. So mining lets you mine your silver. Agriculture lets you farm your rice, etc. You do not start with a worker. The first thing you want to build in your capital is a worker. Maybe 3% of the time instead you could do a fishing boat. Oh, you need workboats to improve naval resources, by the way. Grab fishing if you have fish, clams, or crabs. Otherwise, the worker will improve your tiles. With most bonus tiles, the improvement that you'll want to make is obvious. For example, dyes and bananas have the special plantation improvement. It gives the best yields, and with a road, your empire will have access to that resource. It's not like Civ 3 where the road alone will suffice, so for each resource, you also need to place the corresponding worker improvement. The one exception would be hill tiles. Mines on hills give +2 shields, which is strong. It's not that much worse than a pasture, which gives +3 food or 2 food, 1 commerce. Yields from improvements actually depend on the resource that you're improving. So consider mining like a pig hill or a sheep hill. You can replace it later on with a pasture, or not, it's up to you, but keep in mind that without the pasture, you don't get the pig or sheep resource. And these resources, if they're your first copy, give you +1 health to each city. If they're your second copy, you can trade them to other civs for different resources. Cities have a health score. Fresh water increases your health, as do forests. Floodplains and jungle decrease health. The consequences of poor health aren't that bad, it just costs you 1 food per turn for each point of health that you're missing to keep up with the city's unhealthiness score. Cities also have a happiness score, individual to each city. It's not global. For each point of happiness that you're missing, one of your citizens just does nothing. They still eat food every turn, though. So it's better not to grow your cities if you'll grow into unhappiness. Having too much unhappiness is much worse than poor health. But generally, past the start of the game, unhappiness is easier to fix. If it's an issue, research monarchy. Monarchy unlocks this civic. There's no cap on it. It can give you as much happiness as you need. You start with a warrior, maybe a scout. Look around, pop huts, but eventually bring it back home to protect yourself. Barbarians are no joke in this game, and relative to the other Civ games, exploration is the least important here. You need to meet other civs, there are benefits to having contact with them, both hidden and obvious, but you're not really in a hurry, the same way you are in Civ 3 or when meeting city-states in Civ 6. Do some exploration, you definitely need to see where your next city is going to go, but if you have extra units, it might be best to use them to ward off barbarians. Barbarians will not spawn within 2 tiles of one of your units, so if you place your units strategically outside your borders, you can stop the barbarians from spawning. In terms of what to build, settlers are good. Each city has a maintenance cost in gold, so you have to build the city up before it pays for itself. That being said, maps are small and cities are valuable. There's no corruption. You want to secure as many good city spots as you can, even if it means your science slider goes down to like 20% or something like that. Get settlers out early, and make sure you have enough workers to get these cities up and running, too. Note that settlers and workers do not consume a point of population when you build them, but you can't grow while building them. All of your surplus food instead contributes to the construction of the worker or the settler. Anyway, remember that workers and settlers are very high priority when choosing what to build. Buildings are not great in Civ 4 generally, but granaries, libraries, forges, and lighthouses are quite good and you should prioritize them highly, as are barrackses if you're looking to fight. Later on, you'll unlock the ability to build research. Unlike wealth in earlier Civ games, this is actually quite strong. Consider doing it from time to time. Make sure you're protected against barbarians. If a barb city is nearby, you can mass units and try to capture it. There's also wonders. Wonders kick ass here. Most of them get bonuses if you have a particular resource, like they construct faster. If you have marble, consider beelining to these wonders. If you have stone, consider the pyramids. If you have a lot of coastal tiles, consider the Colossus if you have copper, or the Great Lighthouse, regardless of your resources. Another teching priority might be going for a religion. 7 technologies in the game will cause you to found a religion if you discover them first. Religions are all the same. There's no pantheon or beliefs, but they unlock buildings, and there are benefits to spreading the religions that you have founded. On high difficulties, players typically don't bother. On low to mid difficulty, my advice would be, if you start with mysticism, take Hinduism or Buddhism. If not, maybe go for Confucianism at Code of Law if you really want a religion. Religion spreads naturally. You'll pick up religions from other civs. Sharing a religion or having opposing religions will give you big diplomatic modifiers, so choose carefully and consider just having no state religion at all if picking a religion would piss off too many people. Let's talk about civics. So this is the civics screen. You get to pick and choose bonuses that apply to your whole nation. They are unlocked with technologies, although sometimes you can get early access through wonders. A few are quite important. Hereditary rule at monarchy will solve any happiness issues that you have, as will representation down the line. Bureaucracy at civil service gives your empire a phenomenal boost, but the strongest civic is slavery. Slavery allows pop rushing. Relative to Civ 3, this is buffed as hell. You get 30 hammers per citizen that you sacrifice, and Civ 4 has overflow. All of the excess production from pop rushing will transfer to the next thing that you produce. And no matter how many citizens you kill at a time, each instance only gives 1 unhappiness for 10 turns. Because having a highly populated city also creates unhappiness, often your city will become more happy after you whip it. Once you finish your expansion phase, you want strong cities. The first way of doing this is cottages. Cottages are an improvement unlocked with pottery. They give +1 gold, but they grow into bigger little hamlets, as long as a citizen in one of your cities is using the tile. This boost can grow up to 4 gold per turn, with additional bonuses from civics and the printing press technology. Financial civs, in particular, benefit from early cottages because they can quickly get their bonus gold. Immediately, actually, if you put the cottage on a river tile. Usually, on hills you'd rather mine, and you'll need to irrigate plains and grassland tiles if you're short on food, but cottages should go on any other flatland tiles. On floodplains, they are particularly strong because you're getting extra food, too. Water mills, windmills, and lumber mills are good, and with later techs and the state property civic, they become a fantastic choice, but early on, cottages are your bread and butter. There is one other strong alternative, though. Specialists can be used if you have buildings that give specialist slots, like the library or the forge. These specialists consume food, but they give flat yields and also great person points. Great person points are also given by wonders. They stack up in your city, and once you hit a certain number, you get a great person. This threshold increases, so each great person is harder to get than the last. But early on, they're easy and impactful, and they can do one of four things. They can unlock a technology, or most of a technology. This is situational. They can join the city and give yields every turn for the rest of the game. They can trigger golden ages, or they can do a special ability. For great profits, that means building a religious shrine in your religion's holy city. These are quite good, but if you don't have a religion, great profits are relatively weak. In that case, use them for a golden age or avoid them altogether. Great engineers can rush a wonder. This is strong as hell. Great scientists give an academy, which is a 50% boost to science in that city. Very solid. Get this as soon as you can, maybe even in multiple cities. Great artists give you a culture bomb, plus 4,000 culture in one city. You can use this to steal enemy cities with culture, instantly end resistance in a captured city, or stop one of your own cities from flipping. Great merchants are solid. Their special ability is to give you a bunch of gold. And great spies also exist. You will unlock the ability to trade text with your enemy at alphabet. The AI will only trade text to you if they like you enough, and will only give you a set number of texts before they cut you off. So, prioritize trading for big-ticket texts that you need immediately, and consider researching cheaper texts yourself. You can sell as many of your texts to them for gold as you want, though. Currency is what allows you to trade gold, and it also gives you +1 trade route in each of your cities. Unlike both Civilization 1 and 6, trade routes only give gold and establish themselves automatically. They don't offer any benefit to the receiving city. Trade routes generate more money if the receiving city has more population and is further away, so consider open borders with other civs to increase your trade revenue. When it comes to fighting, the AI is insufferable. They will start wars by dropping a big stack into your land. Even if you have the units on hand, they might not be in the right spot, so position your units carefully even during peacetime. Archers and longbowmen are very strong at defending cities and hills. You can bombard down the defense bonus of enemy cities, or counter enemy stacks with splash damage using catapults and other siege units. For attacking, upgrading is very strong. You get a good rate on upgrading, and it lets you funnel your gold as well as your shields into your military production. Use timing pushes with big stacks of upgraded units that you've just unlocked. Particularly, I can vouch for axemen, war elephants, cuirassiers, and cannons being effective doom stacks. When choosing a promotion, keep in mind that they heal your unit if you promote, so save them until you need that boost. You can't go wrong with the combat tree. Drill is not as good, but it's usable. The idea is that you use it if you want to deal more damage when you lose, or take less damage when you win combat. So that's it. These are the basics that you need to know to start your first game. I am so excited for you. Let me know in the comments how it goes. Cheers. See you guys next time.